Good evening and welcome to the Buck Stops Here. Another day, another violation by Pakistani troops on the international border, this time resulting in the death of a BSF Jawan in Jammu's RS-Pura sector. There have been over 250 ceasefire violations by Pakistan in the 10 months of 2013 alone. Now nearly 100 of them on the international border. They've continued through and in spite of talks between Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and his Pakistani counterpart Nawaz Sharif in New York at the end of September, that it ended with an agreement to hold talks between the militaries of the two countries on easing tensions along the line of control. The talks provoked a significant number of critics even then. Now, as the government puts them on hold for the moment, some fundamental questions are being raised about the state of the peace process, the trust deficit between the two countries, and perhaps the most fundamental, who's really running Pakistan? Is the Pakistani army acting on its own or with the tacit approval of Nawaz Sharif? Sharif is in Washington meeting Barack Obama tonight, seeking US intervention in the resolution of the Kashmir dispute, even though he only recently reacted against India raising Pakistan in the context of terror with America. Another contradiction in a relationship full of them. How will the growing violations impact any future engagement, if at all? That's what we're asking tonight. But first, Zafar Iqbal reports from the international border as the BSF mourns its Jawan and villagers live in continued fear of being shelled.
Situation continues to remain very tense all along the international border. Last night there was firing at as many as 50 different locations in almost all the sectors along the international border in Jammu. Right now I'm in RS-Pura sector, which witnessed the most intense shelling. In fact, one Jawan was killed and 6 others were injured in Pakistani shelling. I'm at the zero line right at the border fence. On the other side is Pakistan. At the BSF headquarters in Jammu, a wreath-laying ceremony for the killed Jawan. Head Constable Mukesh Lal Meena was hit by a 82mm mortar shell fired from Pakistan at his border outpost in RS-Pura on Tuesday night. 6 other BSF Jawans were injured. Sub-Inspector Surinder Singh was hit by a shell in his leg. He is now undergoing treatment in a Jammu hospital.
फायरिंग तो 7 बजे हो गई सर।
तो अभी क्या स्थिति है वहाँ पे? अभी क्या है?
अभी काफी बम्बारमेंट हो रहा है।
There have been over 200 ceasefire violations at the line of control and international border. There has been a sharp spurt in the ceasefire violations along the international border recently. In just past 1 week, over 100 locations of the BSF have been targeted by Pakistani rangers in the Kathua, Samba, Hiranagar, Jammu, RS-Pura and Pargawal sectors. Sources say the Pakistani army is fully backing the rangers in their aggression at the borders. Sources say targeting international border serves 2 purposes for Pakistan. One, it helps to internationalize the Kashmir issue. And second, there are many villages very close to the international border on the Indian side. And when shells fall on those villages, people are forced to migrate. That also puts more pressure on the security forces.
This may be a change in a strategy by the across the borders. They just to keep the issue of J&K live. No.
To internationalize the J&K.
Yes.
To internationalize the J&K.
Yes, you have already seen in the media. They are already asking the United States to interfere. So they are already trying everywhere to internationalize the issue.
Fed up with daily firing and shelling, people have started migrating to safer areas. More than 60 families from different border areas are camping in this community center in Samba.
सारी रात हो गया फेल होते हैं, फिर इधर आ गए, चलते चलते इधर पहुंच गए हैं अस्पताल, इधर बैठे हैं जंजघर में। बाकी के परेशानी है ना, परेशानी अपने घर सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के पशु बचे हैं बेचारे भूखे पाने रात के।
So far, Pakistan has not responded to the repeated requests of the BSF for holding flag meetings for resolving the border tension. According to government sources, Centre is sending additional forces to the borders to plug the routes for infiltration. But the big question remains, when will the firing stop and calm return on the borders? In RS-Pura sector with Darshan Kumar, Zafar Iqbal for NDTV.
Well, joining me to try and find answers to those fundamental questions we're asking from Srinagar, Tanveer Sadiq, the political advisor to the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah. In Delhi from the BJP, Chandan Mitra. Also, we're being joined by General Shankar Roy Chaudhary from Kolkata. In the studio, we have Vivek Katchu with us as well. Tanveer Sadiq, I want to ask you first, since Jammu and Kashmir is seeing the spate of violations along the international border and the line of control. Omar Abdullah has come out and talked about how the centre needs to figure out an adequate response. What kind of response is the National Conference hoping for from the centre on this?
See, Maya, we are in a situation where people living on the line of actual control, or IB, have started fleeing their homes, their fields. The young kids can't go to the school. Of course, it's a situation where they are constantly living under the fear of being shot. So, but having said that, I mean, there have been 150 more ceasefire violations there. But again, I say that war is never a situation, war is never an alternative. National Conference has all along maintained that dialogue is the only way we can ease out the situation. So when Mr. Omar Abdullah said that, he said that we need to find out ways, because if talking, it has to be reciprocal. If we extend the hand of friendship from here, the people across the border should reciprocate. So right, we feel that the time has come for the government of India to really take up the matter very strongly with Pakistan, because please don't forget that Nawaz Sharif is either not in control, or maybe, you know, when his election campaign was there, he talked about peace process. Right. And now there is somebody, or there are some hand behind it, who are trying to thwart the whole peace process.
So you see this as somebody who's trying to derail the peace process, who's responsible for the violations along the line of control and the international border. Let's just take that to the military now. General Shankar Roy Chaudhary, we've been talking about these violations now for quite a few weeks, and one message that seems to be coming out from the military is while there is a constituency for dialogue with Pakistan, let the talks go on, but A, let the military do its job on the border, even if that means retaliation of some kind. B, better coordination between the army and the BSF who are manning the line of control and the international border. Your responses to what's going on?
Well, the matter of coordination between the army and the BSF can be worked out on the ground by the people concerned. But I think the basic strategy has to be talks must go on. No one has any objections to talks going on. Talks have been going on for a long time. But I think Pakistan has to pay a price. And I think the strategy now should be that whatever conditions are being created on the Indian side of the international border, you know, in that area of Arnia.
Right, we're trying to get the audio back for General Shankar Roy Chaudhary, but let's take that across to Chandan Mitra as well of the BJP. Chandan Mitra, we're hearing both Tanveer Sadiq and General Roy Chaudhary say if the talks have to continue, let them continue. Yet we've seen the BJP be a very strident critic of the fact that the Prime Minister went ahead with these talks in New York with Nawaz Sharif a day after what happened in Samba, as the Keren encounter was underway during those talks. The attempt and the intention to keep the dialogue process on track in spite of what we're seeing happen on the borders.
Well, Maya, I think Dr. Manmohan Singh's policy towards Pakistan can be summed up in 4 words: kill, kill, kiss, kiss. They kill, we kiss. Now, this is something which is unheard of in international diplomacy, that day after day they infiltrate, they come into our territory, they kill our Jawans, they mutilate their bodies, and they drive away the people living along the LOC and the international border, and all we do in return is to shake hands, put up smiling faces and say the dialogue must continue. I must say this kill, kill, kiss, kiss policy cannot go on. It has been enough, and we have to show our strength, diplomatically to begin with, and later, as Omar Abdullah said recently, that we have to even think of other options. But before we think of other options, we have to exercise the option of not talking. And I think that is very important. No talks. No talks till you stop this constant violations and provocations. I mean, leave even 26/11 and these people aside. Hafiz Saeed is strutting along the LOC, recruiting jihadis and sending them to India to kill our people, and we keep talking, and we keep talking to people who have no control over Hafiz Saeed and company. What are we following this policy for? High time this policy has to be abandoned.
Right. Okay. Let's just take that across to Vivek Karchu as well. What Chandan Mitra is saying is what the BJP's line has been. There's no point in talking to Pakistan if this situation continues, if the terror continues. What is the centre's policy on Pakistan today?
I really don't know what the centre's policy is. Let's explore this no talks a little further, Maya. Obviously, there are some levels of contact with Pakistan as a neighbor which cannot end. For example, diplomatic missions will have to be in contact. So the diplomacy route has to be open. Second, on humanitarian issues too, discussions have to go on between officials.
Okay.
So I imagine that when Dr. Mitra says there should be no talks, he is referring to, I would presume, that no talks at the political level. Well, that is an option which the government can always accept or reject. To my mind, talks or no talks doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
We've got to address the roots of the problem. And as far as the present ceasefire violations are concerned, I must confess that I've become pessimistic. I think in the short term, because of a number of reasons, which we can go into if you wish, the Pakistanis will have an aggressive posture and they will fire. So the ceasefire of 2003 is under the greatest strain at the moment, and I don't see this present dynamic on the LOC and the IB and J&K coming to an end anytime soon.
Well,